So this is how addiction stole my soul, and let me share it with you so that hopefully you don't go down the same path. So I'm 34 years old and I just started this channel to share my experience with addiction and try and help other people that might be going through the same thing, or warn people that have not gone down the same path. So this channel, no one knows who I am, so I'm going to share very openly and vulnerably with you guys. And it all started when I was 16 years old. I started smoking weed, and it quickly became a daily thing. And eventually I realized, even when I was like 16, 17, that I shouldn't be doing this. And I said to myself, oh, I'm going to stop. I knew it was bad. I'm going to stop. And then I didn't stop, and I carried on and carried on. And that's the first sign of addiction, when you commit yourself to change your behavior or stop doing something and you don't stop doing it. And then the reason this was so bad, or one of the reasons, was because, I hope you don't see me naked in this mirror, but one of the reasons that's so bad is because instead of me going out and doing things which progressed my life and gave me dopamine, I got used to the cycle of using a substance to change how I felt. And that's one of the most devastating things about addiction, is that you enter this cycle, or I just talk for myself, I entered this cycle of like changing the way I felt through substances, through technology addiction, etc., and not gaining dopamine through doing constructive stuff. Like, let's say, even this video, right? It's a constructive thing I'm doing. I'm trying to help other people, and it can have a positive influence on the past. And that's the thing that drugs do to you guys, is that it makes a person addicted to bullshit, to stuff that has no positive effect on a person's life. And then it's actually the opposite. It has a negative effect on a person's life. Let's say smoking weed, for example. What's the positives of that? Okay, it feels good, it's relaxing, maybe become a bit more creative. But in the overall scheme of things, it's just bad. It makes a person tired. It's not good for mental health. It's bad for your lungs and your body. And this stuff really fucked me up, guys. On this channel, I'm going to share more about my experience, but I want to talk about how it takes away a person's soul, And let's start with the fact that everyone is born with dreams and hopes and goals. When we're very young, we all dream big and we have all these goals and stuff. But with the addictions, what eventually happens to a person is that a person just learns to escape their reality. And for me, it's been a very crazy road. It's been the weed, then I went on cocaine, then I tried meth a few times, and it just takes away all the color of life. A person, maybe you enjoyed playing paintball or going out with friends or doing meeting girls or traveling, and I enjoyed all those things. And when I got involved with drugs, especially cocaine and that, I just became addicted to that, because no action that I can take without drugs is going to feel as good as that cocaine feels. And that's what happened to me. I've been traveling the world for 7 years as a dating coach, and then I remember I was in Brazil and I relapsed on coke. And instead of going out to the beach and meeting girls and doing stuff, I would just sit there in my room and use more and more and more. And besides for the fact that I didn't want to go out and do fun things, those things that require discipline, the things that I actually didn't want to do but were positive for me, became even more difficult to do. And these are the things about drugs that people don't warn you about, is that it affects the way that your whole brain functions. And like, I'm still recovering from that. Like, I'm clean from hard drugs for a little while, but I've had a severe technology addiction, because what happens is, like, I use those drugs, my dopamine goes so high, so then the brain desensitizes itself from dopamine to protect itself because it's too much, and then my whole reality is like bleak. My whole reality is dark. It's a condition called anhedonia, and the opposite of euphoria, when you feel great, is called dysphoria. And that's what you experience from this bullshit drug addiction, is literal dysphoria. You know, like, in life, everything can be fine, can have money, can have whatever. But because of this bullshit substances, everything can seem dark. And then that opens the door for other addictions, like technology addiction, porn addiction. You know, I've been sitting here in my room. I'll be honest with you guys, you know, last year I was like locked away for like 10 months because of addiction. And like, I got out, and instead of like going out and doing things, being productive, I'm sitting around on my phone for hours and hours on end, and just living completely out of alignment with my goals, you know. And part of making these videos is about coming out of that cycle and doing something productive, actually creating instead of just consuming. I've created enough. I've consumed enough. And when I finish this video, I'm going to go, and I used to have a self-development company actually, and like teach people about habits and discipline and all that stuff. And I'm going to go and I'm going to update the habit tracker that I used to use. And the habit tracker that I used to use, it's got different habits like exercise, whatever, and I'm going to put screen time on it. And I'm going to log my screen time every day and just put a little routine there, daily routine. Because that's what people don't tell you about drugs, is it makes it so fucking hard to be a human. Makes it so hard to be human after you have been addicted to drugs like me. You know, my brain is literally damaged from all this shit that I've done to it. You know, cocaine, weed. I tried meth like 4 times. That was the worst by far. And I became a person that I don't even recognize. You know, I want to just be straight up with you guys. You know, this YouTube channel is an anonymous channel. And if you made it this far in the video, please subscribe to the channel and interact with me and tell me like about your struggles and whatever, you know, if this content helps you, you know, because that's the other thing what drugs do. They make a person isolate themselves. I've been isolating myself so much, and you know, I just want to share vulnerably and openly with you guys, because on the internet, there's not enough of this. There's not enough of people actually being like, look, this is my raw, unfiltered experience. And I'm not trying to like show off or like be someone I'm not. And I think that vulnerability can help people. But let's talk about like solutions. You know, the solution is in taking control. The solution is in the daily habits. You know, it's so weird. Like, I used to teach people about this, and I used to make motivational videos, and I used to be on the right track. And I became so far off the track that it's unbelievable, you know, and it just is a humbling experience. And yeah, I don't know, you know, I like to try and be positive and all that shit, but I wonder to myself, you know, like, am I going to overcome this? Am I going to relapse? Because that's the thing that drugs do to people. It's like addiction, you know. I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm committed now not to sit on my phone all day. I'm committed not to drink. I'm committed to do all this positive stuff. That's great, you know. But I've let myself down fucking millions of times. So that's one of the ways it just destroys a person, guys. Addiction. And it just gets worse and worse, you know. You see people making progress. Look at myself, and I think you've just fucked your whole life up, you know. And I've made lots of videos talking like this about it, and I don't post them. I just shoot the video, then I delete it. But this one I'm going to post because maybe it'll help somebody. And that's the thing, like, drugs make people selfish. You know, I've been to rehab so many times now, like 5 times or 6 times. And I know so much about it. And one of the things that's like the ugliest part of addiction is how selfish it makes people, what it makes people do to their families and all that stuff. Like, it's fucked up, you know. You know, everyone in our hearts, we're not bad people, but we do bad things. And drugs, no matter what kind of good person you are, if you get addicted to drugs, it distorts a person's thinking. You stop thinking about, like, you stop seeing reality accurately, and it's dangerous. And the mind's like, oh, let me just get more drugs. Like, I want more drugs under any circumstance because of that highs and lows that the drugs cause. Because the drugs make you feel amazing. When you take coke or you take meth, you do feel amazing. That is a fact. But then afterwards you feel much worse than you feel sober. And it's that up and down that causes that addictive cycle and makes people do such crazy shit. And you know, I've done insane things when I was using, even just smoking weed. I've done crazy things. And you know, like, it causes guilt and shame. You know, even making this video, probably the reason I deleted so many of them was because I'm ashamed of what I've done. I'm ashamed of who I became. Look what I've done to my body on all these drugs. Like, I was smoking weed when I got all these tattoos. I look at them and I regret them. I look at myself and I think, fuck's sake. You know? And I mean, there are important lessons to be learned here, but I just need to take control today. I need to do positive things today. You know, it's so easy, like when your life gets destroyed, like what might happen to my life, to sit in the room and feel sorry for myself and just try escape, you know. I've sat down and I've sat in my room, like this has been happening lately, until 4 o'clock in the morning watching videos, you know, watching fucking stupid videos that have no benefit to my life. Nothing. Because I just want to escape my reality. And that's a horrible way to live. You know, there's this image that I saw of like life, right? And one of them is like the easy road and then the hard road afterwards. But then there's another one, the hard road and then the easy road afterwards. And that's the trap of addiction. It's the easy road now. Like now, if I go and get drugs, I'll feel amazing. It's the easy road. But then tomorrow it's the hard road. Now my dopamine system is fucked. Now I have less money. Now so many things. I didn't use my time in constructive ways. I isolated myself. Now I'm alone. Now I have less money. Now my brain chemicals are worse. My self-esteem's worse. And now I have to go uphill. And eventually what happens with this addictive cycle is people just give up on life. That's what's been happening to me. That's what it is. Sitting in the room for 10 hours watching fucking videos is giving up on life. It's fucked up, guys. And, you know, for young people, if anyone young is watching this, don't underestimate how bad drugs are for you. There's a reason that people tell you, adults are like, don't use drugs. There's a reason why you see most homeless people are drug addicts, because this shit is crazy. It's crazy. The way that drugs are powerful in destroying a person's life must not be underestimated, guys. You know, I can sit here and be rational with you guys and tell you all this shit, but there is a huge risk that next week, next month, next year, 2 years, 5 years, my brain has an impulse and it's like, yeah, you know, using drugs is a good idea, and I'll listen to that voice and I'll do it, and then I'll enter that cycle again. You know, I was explaining this to someone the other day, and I was talking to him about meth, because I tried meth like 4 times, and I said to him, if I do meth, I will die. And I wrote on ChatGPT, what happens to a person if they use meth? And it started talking about cardiac arrest, mental health issues, all kinds of things, you know. And yeah, like this video, I'm going to put it on, and I don't want to put it on, but I mean, it's a YouTube channel and you don't know who I am. I'm not putting this on like a platform where people know me. And even if people know me, you know, it's like guilt and shame like stops people dead in their tracks. Yeah, I've made huge mistakes in my life, but who hasn't made mistakes? You know what I mean? I'm not excusing it and saying, oh, it's fine that I do this. But what I am saying is that I'm not going to let guilt and shame stop me from sharing the truth with you guys and trying to help people and trying to move forward. And fear, you know, like this trap of addiction is so strong. And I see people that never got involved with drugs, their whole mind is different. You know, this using drugs is like installing a virus in your brain. And the brain is like, it's vulnerable to it. Once you've done it a few times, then you feel down and depressed. Like, I've been so down lately. Even right now as I make this, I am down. I'm depressed. My mind is just, I don't see the light in life. And then because of that, sometimes my mind is like, oh yeah, you know, it's a good idea. Some cocaine, some alcohol, some weed, some porn. Or my brain's like, you know what, let's just sit here in the bed until 4 in the morning and watch videos and just distract ourselves from the reality that your life has become. It's fucking devastating, you know. And like making these videos, I think to myself like, yeah, some people that know me will see this, or some people that don't like me will see this, and they'll judge me and they'll feel like they're superior than me, so I shouldn't put it. But maybe there's people like me out there. Maybe there's people that are going through this shit that, or that haven't been through it, and this will help them not do it. I don't know. But I do know that it's at least a positive action I can take today in the right direction, you know. And if you're trapped in addiction, fucking hell, I feel for you. You know, most people that are trapped in this will never get out of it. And I pray that I'll get out of it. But it's like I'm in a trap. And I don't want to go back to rehab. I've been there so many times. And, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you even in this video, but I just want to say thanks for watching this video. Probably none of you even made it to the end. But at least I'm trying to do something positive. And, yeah, I'll tell you the truth. If you made it this far, like I'm like 4 weeks clean from meth, or 3 weeks clean from meth. I relapsed on it a few times, and like, yeah, I've been fucking up. Last year I overdosed. I had cardiac arrest. I just woke up and I was surrounded by paramedics with all like things on my chest, and I had to restart my heart. You know, I've had seizures from this stuff. I've had every opportunity and advantage in this life, and I just fucked it all away, you know. And I want to warn you guys, don't do drugs. Don't do them. They're so bad. And if there's one thing I could change about my whole life, it would be not to use drugs. You know, if I could just change one thing, be not to do that shit. And yeah, we have to carry on, you know, and it's just a one day at a time solution. And yeah, I hope that this video helped somebody. Probably no one will watch it, but yeah, I want to warn you guys, really, from the bottom of my heart, this shit's bad. It's bad. Worse than you could imagine. And yeah, when they tell you when you're young, don't do drugs, there's a reason that they say that, you know. Drugs offer a lot. They offer instant gratification, fun, all this stuff, but what they can take away is hectic. I've seen people in rehabs with their lives destroyed. Even me, my life's been destroyed, but not to the extent of a lot of people I've seen, but too much for me. Fucking hell. Even if your life gets destroyed a little bit by something, it's your life, you know. Your life is valuable. We're humans, like God gave us this life. And drugs just divorce us from everything that's valuable in this world. And they turn people into being dysfunctional, you know, can't function. And it's not just drugs, like drugs are the worst, but even technology addiction does the same thing. It's too much dopamine for the mind. That's probably why no one will get to the end of this video, because the attention span is so low, you know, and that's what this shit does. Now I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I don't post this video, whatever, but you know what? It's a positive message and I'll share it with you guys. I just hope that no one that really knows me fucking finds it. And yeah, wish you guys the best. I'll keep uploading on this channel, but it's a hard time for me at the moment, you know. Fucking, what's the date today? The 15th of January 2026. And yeah, anyway guys, thank you for watching this.